Denver 7 On Demand is brought to you by Ferguson and BAC Appliance Center, the best in bath, kitchen, and lighting for your home.
Good morning, I'm Molly Hendrickson.
And I'm Nicole Brady. Here's the latest from Denver 7.
A Colorado man is making national headlines after fighting off an attack from a mountain lion. This all happened along the West Ridge Trail at the popular Horsetooth Mountain open space in Fort Collins.
Denver 7's Micah Smith brings us his now legendary tale of survival.
This is a pretty incredible story for two reasons. One, because mountain lion attacks are very rare, and two, because this runner not only got away but ended up killing that mountain lion with his bare hands. This all started when the runner says he heard something behind him. That's when the mountain lion lunged and bit his face and wrist. He was able to fight off the lion, but again ended up killing that animal, which we now know was a young mountain lion, not an adult. Wildlife officers say the young lion's instincts probably kicked in when it saw the man running. Mountain lion attacks are very rare, and to illustrate that, here's a statistic for you. Since 1990, there have been 16 injuries due to mountain lion attacks in Colorado, and in all of North America, 20 deaths in the last 100 years. But if you find yourself in this rare situation, here's what wildlife officers say you should do. Stay calm and do not turn your back on the mountain lion. Try to appear bigger by raising your hands or opening your jacket if you have one on. And if all else fails, fight for your life. Now, the runner in this situation did sustain some pretty serious injuries, but wildlife officers say none of those injuries were life-threatening. Reporting in Denver, Micah Smith, Denver 7.
Larimer County commissioners plan to vote next week on a pipeline that would carry water from Fort Collins to Thornton, despite massive opposition at last night's county commission meeting. The proposed pipeline would stretch 70 miles, bringing water from the Poudre River north of Fort Collins to the city of Thornton. The plan is to construct it along County Road 56 north of Fort Collins instead of Douglas Road, which was the original plan. Residents still think there's a better place to put the pipeline that would be less disruptive. Also in Larimer County, residents of the Fossil Lake Ranch neighborhood of Fort Collins will weigh in on plans to build a 100-foot tall cell phone tower. Larimer County didn't have to tell neighbors it was going up because the tower will be camouflaged as a tree with fake branches. However, residents have expressed concerns about home values and their health.
Governor Polis and the state still have until Monday to decide if they'll intervene in contract negotiations between the school district and teachers. But teachers say they're fed up. They say every day they're denied the right to strike is another delay in fixing the DPS pay system. We know the district has spent $136,000 getting lesson plans ready for the first 2 days of a strike. The state will release a decision on intervening on Monday. Today, state officials will meet to discuss ways to better identify potential threats to our kids in school and online. Ahead of today's safety conference, we caught up with the head of the School Safety Resource Center.
The goal is to help our school staff be better equipped to do their threat assessments, their risk assessments on school students, and to hopefully create a situation where we won't have any other school shooters.
The state created the center following deadly school shootings at Columbine and Arapahoe high schools. Last year, the state legislature allocated $60 million for school safety. 95 districts applied for money to add locks to classroom doors, reinforce their entryways, and make other safety improvements.
Today, the city of Denver plans to review how they'll pay for a new permanent location for a tiny home village. The new beloved tiny home village location would be near North Pearl and Washington in Globeville. The village's current lease is coming to an end. The city proposed the new location off Pearl Street, which can be rented out to the tiny home village for $10 a year.
We've been denied locations twice in the last 6 months, and it's frightening. These are people's homes, and they need that stability. So we really need this to go through.
The city council still has to vote on the lease. If approved, it will be a term of 1 year with options to renew the lease for up to 4 years.
A Contact 7 investigation uncovers a shocking loophole in our state law, allowing hundreds of sex offenders per year to remove themselves from the sex offender registry. Now, in one case, it happened despite the victim pleading against it.
It's terrifying. It's not right. It's not fair. I think it really is a slap in the face to the victim.
Amy Stillon was only 14 when she says she was sexually assaulted by the lacrosse coach at Arapahoe High School, Matthew Buck. She says her life was ruined. She struggled with depression and anorexia ever since. But Buck, a convicted felon, is now practicing law here in Denver, and a judge recently approved his motion to deregister as a sex offender. One former prosecutor says this needs to change.
just think it was probably a loophole that was inadvertently created by the legislature.
Do you think they need to close that loophole?
I think they should.
Buck refused to comment when Contact 7 reached out to him. We found in the 18th Judicial District, the majority of sex offenders who applied to get off the registry were approved last year.
Tonight, President Donald Trump will deliver his second State of the Union address. It comes on the heels of the partial government shutdown and the possibility of another shutdown starting in just 10 days. In tonight's speech, the president is expected to address the shutdown and the battle over funding for a border wall that caused it. He should also touch on the situations in Syria and Afghanistan, including when the U.S. may pull troops out of the region. And we expect the president to push for big wins in America's economy.
I would think he's going to brag about the economy and jobs. We've got a very low unemployment rate right now. Usually presidents, whether they've had anything to do with it or not, will take credit for it. And I expect him to do that.
You can watch the full State of the Union live tonight here on Denver 7 and on the Denver 7 app. It starts at 7 p.m. And ahead of tonight's speech, we want to hear what you think the state of our union is. You can go to the Denver 7 Facebook page where we have posted this graphic posing this very question. Once President Trump finishes speaking tonight, we'll host a panel discussion live on Facebook and on the denverchannel.com, as well as the Denver 7 streaming apps for Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. And be sure to tune in to Denver 7 tonight at 10 for a full recap and a fact check of the president's address.
This morning, your donations to help a 12-week-old German Shepherd puppy in need of heart surgery will really go a long way. The Rescued Hearts Northwest Animal Shelter in Washington State says a donor will match donations now through March 25th up to $15,000. We've updated you on Logan for the past week and a half. He was just in Colorado last week to undergo surgery at Colorado State University. Unfortunately, that surgery was unsuccessful, but the shelter is continuing to raise money to bring Logan back to Colorado in April for open heart surgery. A GoFundMe account has been set up to help pay for Logan's surgery and trip back to Colorado. We have a link to the shelter's Facebook and GoFundMe page right now on the denverchannel.com.
Well, we are tracking the next storm coming to Colorado later this week. It has already created quite a mess west of us for the past several days.
The travel conditions in the Sierra Nevada mountain region of California are not good. This isn't even the worst of it. The heaviest snows are falling up at June Mountain near the California-Nevada border.
Yeah, listen to this. More than 96 inches of snow fell at the June Mountain Ski Resort in just 3 days. Usually ski resorts like snow, but this had so much they had to close. There was just too much snow.
All right, let's head over to Lisa to find out what's headed our way.
Yeah, and we've issued a first alert action day due to the big change. Yesterday was nice. It was warm. Today is going to be pretty mild, but snow continues in the mountains. We picked up a few inches overnight, and we have now a number of winter weather advisories in purple and winter storm warnings there in pink. West of the divide, between now and early Thursday morning, we're looking at more than a foot, closer to 2 feet of snow. So what does that mean for us? Well, this morning, quite a bit colder, upper teens to low 20s. We are going to get into the upper 40s and low 50s, though, this afternoon, so it's another pretty mild day for us. Little breezy, winds coming in out of the southwest, especially up and through those foothills and areas there along 285 and C470. You'll see those winds kick up. The mountains will see more snow through tonight. By early Wednesday morning, still a quiet commute for us. We're not expecting snow for the early morning drive. It's going to be by midday and early afternoon that we'll start to see that snowfall, and it's going to continue through the Wednesday commute. So I think the Wednesday evening drive is likely going to be the trickiest. It's going to get a lot colder, too. 30s tomorrow at midday, and then teens by tomorrow night. We're going to drop down into the single digits early Thursday morning. Wind chills will likely be at about 10 to 20 degrees below zero. Snow will have tapered off by that point. Might get a few flurries, but we could end up with about 2 to 4 inches of total snow here in town. Much heavier, obviously, in the mountains. So 30s for highs on Wednesday, only in the 20s on Thursday. It is going to be a really cold start and a chilly day, although the skies will start to clear out. Heading into the weekend, you guys, it does warm up a bit. We're back in the low 40s by Saturday.
All right, thanks, Lisa.
Well, Denver is one of the most romantic cities in the country, at least if you believe a new report from Instacart.
Yeah, the company says food is the quickest way to our hearts, so it used our shopping data to create these rankings. Denver came in as the second most romantic city, behind only Baltimore. It's a big jump for the Mile High City, which came in at number 5 last year.
As for the cities where you might not want to look for love, Detroit topped the list as the least romantic city in the country.
And this has been your Denver 7 On Demand update. Thanks for joining us.
Be sure to check back here later for another update and download the Denver 7 app for breaking news and alerts. Have a great day.